Welcome back to the third podcast. It's about the power that is always in the present moment. All the events you and I have experienced in our lifetime up to this moment have been created by our thoughts and beliefs we have held in the past. You know that they were created by the thoughts and words we used yesterday, last week, last month, and even last year, 10, 20, 30, or 40 or more years ago, depending on how old we are. But however, that is our past. It is over and done with it. What is important in this moment is what you are choosing to think and believe and say right now. For these thoughts and words will create our future. The point of power always is in the present moment, and it is forming the experience of tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, and so on. You might notice what thought you are thinking at this moment. Is it negative or positive? Do you want this thought to be creating your future? You just have to notice and be aware. It's not too late and it's not that much difficult, because the only thing we are ever dealing with is a thought, and a thought can be changed. No matter what the problem is, our experiences are just an outer effects of inner thoughts. Even self-hatred is only hating a thought you have about yourself or about others. For example, you have a thought that says, I'm a bad person. So this thought produces a feeling, and you buy into the feeling. However, there's always hope. If you don't have the thought, you won't have the feeling, and thoughts can be changed. So you just have to change the thought, and the feeling must go. This is only to show you and I, to show us where we get many of our beliefs, but let's not use this information as an excuse to stay stuck in our pain. The past has no power over us. It doesn't matter how long we have had a negative pattern, because the point of power is always in the present moment. You know, what a wonderful thing to realize. You feel that it's not too late for a change. We can begin to be free in this moment. Believe it or not, we do choose our thoughts. We may habitually think the same thought over and over so that it doesn't seem we are choosing the thought. Can you think about this? But we did make the original choice. It is ours. We can refuse to think certain thoughts. Like, look how often you have refused to think a positive thought about yourself. Well, you can also refuse to think a negative thought about yourself. It seems to me that everyone on this planet whom I know or have worked with is suffering from self-hatred or guilt to one degree or another. The more self-hatred and guilt we have, the less our lives work. The less self-hatred and guilt we have, the better our lives work on all the levels. Actually, I met many people who believe that they're not good enough, and they often add to that they don't do enough, they don't deserve. Does this sound like you? Often saying or implying or feeling that you're not good enough. But haven't you asked for whom I should be good enough, or according to whose standards I should be good enough? If this belief is very strong in you, then how can you possibly have created a loving, joyous, prosperous, and healthy life? Somehow your main subconscious belief would always be contradicting it. Somehow you would never quite get it together, for something would always be going wrong somewhere. Also, I find out that resentment, criticism, and guilt, and even fear cause more problems than anything else. These 4 things cause the major problems in our bodies and in our lives. These feelings come from blaming others and not taking responsibility for our own experiences. You see, if we are all responsible for everything in our lives, then there is no one to blame. So, whatever is happening out there is only a mirror of our own inner thinking. I'm not condoning other people's poor behavior, but it is our beliefs that attract people who will treat us that way. If you find yourself saying everyone always does such and such to me, criticizes me, is never there for me, uses me like a doormat, abuses me, then this is your pattern. This is some thought in you that attract people who exhibit this behavior. When you no longer think that way, then they will go elsewhere and do that to someone else. You will no longer attract them. Then we have criticism as a permanent habit. Can often lead to arthritis in the body. And we have guilt always looks for punishment, and punishment creates pain. And last we have fear, and the tension each produces, can create things like baldness, ulcers, and even sore feet. You may not think that all these things, all these abstract things that we have in mind can cause us these serious disease, but it does. I have found that forgiving and releasing resentment will dissolve even cancer. While this may sound simplistic, but it really works. And there's always a hope that can lead us to change our attitude toward the past. The past is over and done. So we cannot change that now, yet we can change our thoughts about the past. How foolish for us to punish ourselves in the present moment because someone hurt us in the long ago past. If we choose to believe we are helpless victims and that is all hopeless, we'll just go down the drain. It's vital that we release these foolish, outmoded, negative ideas and beliefs that do not support us and nourish us. So to release the past, we must be willing to forgive. Yes, forgive. We need to choose to release the past and forgive everyone, ourselves included. Yes, ourselves included. And this is the very first step into a big change. We should start from ourselves, then everything will be easy outside. We may not know how to forgive, and we may not want to forgive, but the very fact that we say we are willing to forgive begins the healing process. It is imperative for our own healing that we release the past and forgive everyone. And there is an affirmation that can help you to start this healing process by forgiving ourselves and peoples also. You just have to repeat it all the day long, so your subconscious get used to it and start working according to it. It says, I forgive you for not being the way I wanted you to be. I forgive you and I set you free. And I'm gonna repeat it because it really means so much. I forgive you for not being the way I wanted you to be. I forgive you and I set you free. Indeed, this affirmation sets us free. It makes us feel relieved and released from all the past things, the past thoughts, the past negative thoughts. And I hope you will practice in it, because it's all about practice. Everything starts from a step, and I hope it will lead to a big change in our lives to reach that healthy lifestyle. See you soon.